Up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be discussing Vanderpump Rules. And for me, last night episode was so long, but somewhat good. I'll rate this episode an 8 out of 10. Um, we saw a lot of stuff went down where we know in grads like Sheena and Katie with Tom Schwartz. Then of course we had Tom trying to speak to Ariana, and yeah, this season is just slowly trying to break outside of Scandoval, but we still have Scandoval in it. What we saw from last night, which was for me highlights of the episode, I won't necessarily get into the boring parts of the episode like Joe. We saw where Billy decided to visit Sandoval at his house, and she was talking regarding the whole. It feels awkward for her being over there, especially that Ariana is just down the hall. And first of all, why are you there? And second of all, why are you even on my television screen? And then the next thing is, I thought you were friends with Ariana, so I don't know why is it weird for you with Ariana down the hall. Like, I don't understand it. We saw where she's still trying to push her friend on Tom because, things that maybe she has her friend around Tom, she can get more camera time. So she wants to set up her friend on Tom, basically. Then we got where we found out that he sends Ariana an email regarding buying her out of the house at top market value because he's so rich. So he was able to offer her that, and she still hasn't responded to an email regarding that. We then got the scene where this is where we got Schwartz, who then said to Lala that he hooked up with Sheena 12 years ago in Vegas. Don't know why this is just coming up. Don't know why it's a storyline. Don't know why it's even been talked about. But Lala was shocked by it because she didn't know about this. And then she's saying that she's close to Sheena and Sheena has never mentioned this to her. But Schwartz has said that this is something that they have laughed about over the holiday period. And yeah, so it's like nothing to them basically. We then saw where Katie then decides to visit Lala, and at this point I was wondering like who is Lala first going to speak to about what she found out from Schwartz. And then we saw where Lala decided that she's going to tell Katie first because she doesn't want to tell Sheena for then Sheena to create a chance, create a picture. And this is where I was like, aren't you supposed to be friends with Sheena? Like, why would you go ahead and tell Katie first because you don't want your friend to create a pretty picture? And this is where I'm like, oh, this is the producer insides of Lala head. She's like, I'm not going to tell Sheena because it's not going to make for great TV if she is aware of it first. So to catch her off guard, let me go to Katie, let Katie aware of what was said, and then that would be a great scene now where then Katie decides to confront Sheena regarding what she found out. And rightfully so, that's how it even played out. We then decided to where James was having a party. And I don't know, every episode for me this season, James is always having some party. If it's a pool party, something he's always having. He was playing at some party and Joe was there and all of the rest of the cast was there. We saw where Joe felt uncomfortable because she's like, the girls don't like her and don't know why you think they would like you. You were an accomplice regarding the whole scandal, allegedly. And then you are, saying that they're bullying you. We had Sheena where she was telling her to take the hat off her head because I guess every time they see Joe, Joe has a hat on her head, and then Joe is a hairstylist, so why are you covering your head? And it was just this back and forth, and then she was hanging with Billy Lee because I'm sure she has no one else to speak with. So Billy Lee was just enjoying the whole, any chance Billy can get for a camera to be on her and a mic pack to be in her back, she loves it. So we saw where she was, speaking with Billy, saying that she feels uncomfortably because the girls are bullying her and she doesn't understand why they're bullying her and she just wants to get along with everybody. And yeah, we all know that's not going to happen. We got where Ariana and Katie then arrived, and of course they were speaking about the whole Joe situation where, they were calling Joe a rat, which a bit too far. And we saw where Joe decided to have a panic attack or anxiety, as Schwartz put it. So she stormed out and wanted to leave because she felt overwhelmed. She felt like everybody was watching her. And of course, we don't know exactly how it was in real time because this is more an edited down scene, so we don't know how intense really it was for her. So she decided to leave. We get where um Katie decided to speak to Scheana regarding the makeouts that regarding the makeouts that she found out between Schwartz and her. In Sheena's defense, she said that during that time, it was when she was just engaged to Shay, and also that she was not in a good place with Katie because during those days, we know how Katie was very vicious, and of course, it was during a time when like Kristen and also Stassi was not effing with Sheena, so she didn't feel right to be like, hey, yeah, your significant other made out with me in the corner or anything like that. So she didn't see where she needed to bring it up, although she was in Katie's wedding. It still wasn't a thought in process to bring it up. And then Katie was like, yeah, so you didn't want to bring it up, but then now it's like a joke thing now, like you guys are having a joke about it. So, Katie's in her feelings, and I'm thinking at this point, Katie is just trying to find any little reason so she can justify why she really cannot be friends with Sheena, because I think it's been their ongoing friendship dynamic. Like they make up and then something happens and then she needs to find a reason why she cannot be friends with Sheena anymore. Um the next scene we saw where we had, I think it was before, where we had Katie and Lala and Ariana were sitting on the chair, and then we found Tom for all the season decided to walk up to Ariana to have a conversation, and the look on Ariana's face when she turned around, I could feel that disgust. If it was me, I'd probably be like, it's okay, and just walk away. But Tom was like, no, he needs to make it be known that he sent an email regarding an offer on the house. So it doesn't seem that he's not making any moves for her to get out or buy her out or anything like that. So he decided to tell her she saw the email, and you could tell that he was, in my opinion, a bit nervous speaking to her because he doesn't know where it's going to go because these persons have not spoken to each other allegedly since the reunion last year. So for them, it's like he doesn't know where the shit is gonna go. We saw where she said that her lawyer will pretty much respond to him and deal with it because she wants no type of one-on-one communication with him. She's not going to reply to no email. And yeah, then we got where we saw Schwartz, James, Sandoval, and Lala. They met up, and Lala invites the group that she's hosting an event, and then she also extended the invite to Sandoval, which we are starting to see where Lala now is more. I'm not knowing if it's in the middle or she's more leaning towards wherever she feels like she wants to lean in that particular day. But we saw where she invited Sandoval, and I'm sure she's going to invite the rest of the girls. So I'm sure it's going to be another group event with all of them in one scene. Lala says that she knows how it feels for someone to hold you hostage for the perception of things. So she's trying to somewhat saying that she gets where that Sandoval is trying to make progress. So she doesn't necessarily want to hold someone hostage because she has been in that situation where they have been holding her hostage for their perception of things. So we see where, and then he said he was doing some lifestyle specialist thing at his house where he did invited Lala, which I don't know. For me, Sandoval, like sometimes I wish you would just apologize and just go by air. Like sometimes I think you have a one conversation with someone and you feel as if like now it's okay for me to go ahead and feel like I'm back into the fold and everything is all good and everything is all great. And this is where I'm like, you need to sometimes just read the room and just leave it. Lala was not sure how to answer, so she said she will have to think about it, which we then found out she did go, but she didn't partake in the exercise. But they did have a conversation where She says that everyone reserves the right to evolve. She also tells Sandoval what happened in her life. It makes it hard for her to trust straight men. And also, whatever happened between them, it's not her fight, and da 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 da. But we are seeing this shift. We all heard the rumors that there was some blow up or conversations that took place at the reunion between Ariana and Lala. And I'm sure it may have to do with something with how the season is basically progressing, because we see in confessionals where we have Lala, making comments regarding Ariana and shading Ariana, but yet in a scene you're acting as if like you're team Ariana, you're friends with this girl. So we can see where that may be the reason why there was a blow up at the reunion. We then have the sandwich shop tasting, which to this day the sandwich shop is still not open. Don't know when the shop is going to be open. I'm hoping it will be open. But they did another tasting, which now the shop is decorated, but we're going to be tasting sandwiches. And everybody in the scene pretty much saying that, didn't we do this last year? Like, why are we doing this again? And it's the same sandwiches. It's not like something more has been added to the menu. But it was a bit confusing. We then got where they then decided to go to Pump or Sir, one of those, not Pump, 'cause Pump is closed down. I think Sir. They decided to go to the restaurant where we then had Lisa, who was there, and of course they decided to let her taste it, which Ken rightfully said, like, isn't the shop open? Like, everybody at this point is wondering, like, what the hell is happening? Like, every day we're hearing some permit this, permit that. Like, can't we open and then figure that shit out? Because I'm sure the major permits are already approved. So why are we still blaming the shop not being open on permits? I don't know. I don't know anything about shops, but it just seems to me very far-fetched. Then we got where I believe Black decided to insert himself and also decided to share that the night when they all left the James party, Katie decided to leave with Max, which we know Max was on the previous season, but he got himself axed. And she decided to go home with him. And, they're saying that Max and Schwartz are best friends. And it's alluding to the fact that because she spent the night, something more happened. And Scheana did not want to bring it up because she's saying she's in a good place with Katie, but Brock decided to open his big mouth and bring it up. And then it was just this back and forth. And then we got Lala get up from the table and saying, like, this is just too much because everybody is just doing God knows what. And it's like, we want to hold people to the cross and everything like that. And I see where Lala is coming from because, like, you were just last year, Katie telling Schwartz that he doesn't want anybody to do anything in the friend group, and he did not follow your rule or what you wanted him to do. But at the end of the day, you decided to hook up with his best friend. And I'm sure when he did his thing with Rachel, you and Rachel were not close friends or anything like that. So yes, it was within the group, but it's not like you were necessarily close with the girl and you guys weren't together. But then Max and Schwartz are best friends, and you thought that it's fair game. I'm going to hook up with Max. And we also saw in the trailer where they're going to be pretty much sharing the same girl, where Schwartz kissed, I think it was Sheena's um, friend who she wanted to babysit her daughter. And then we also saw where the friend also kissed Katie. So we see where it's going that way where, yeah, it's getting real messy. I don't know what next season will look like. Don't know if it's when whatever bombshell happens at the reunion or anything, would that help it for something else going into the next season? Because we see that Scannaval is pretty much water under the bridge at this point. So are we going to still be talking about who is friends with who and who is affecting who and all of those little minor stuff? But let me know, guys, in the comment section what your thoughts are on the episode. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please remember to like the video and also share the video with a friend. And also, if you like what you see on the channel, please also subscribe to the channel. And as we will recap the next episode of Vanderpump Rules. Bye.